Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitanscha. So, Om. Okay. They want more. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And namo mahavaranyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namne gora tvije namaha. All right, so our one became four by the wish of the devotees. We can always have everything plus everything plus everything. Infinite plus infinite plus infinite equals infinite. Okay, we've got some mathematicians here. They know because they've heard from Srila Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So the verse today, and indeed, so everything we're doing with our head at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rokho Sridhardev Goswami Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and to whom they are all bringing to us our head at the lotus feet too of Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and the whole Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga, headed by Rupa Goswami, and of course Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's Mahaprabhu's own verse, and we're going to read now together verse number 8. No, we're not. Number 6. Number 8 is the last one. Number 6. And you've got the Hindi here for those of you who can read the Devanagari. Not Hindi, Devanagari, the name of the script. Just like the script we are reading is a Roman from Italy. Just see Roman script, A, B, C, D. All right? So slowly together. Nayanaṁ galad-aśru-dhārayā vadanaṁ gadgada-ruddhayā girā pulakair nicitaṁ vapuḥ kadā tava nāma-grahaṇe bhaviṣyati. And the translation given here, and as in the book Golden Volcano of Divine Love, which is really our authority book in our line, if you like, on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in a very brief way, who he is, what he's come to give, and then the whole second half, this Siksastakam prayers discussion. So the translation as given here, O Lord, when will tears flow from my eyes like waves, and my voice tremble in ecstasy? When will the hairs on my body stand on end as I call your name? Now we've been mentioning, and you all have these sheets, this time, and these sheets prepared by Subhasini Devi Dasi with much appreciation from us all. And this time, I'm always saying this is your homework, but this is a short sheet, short text on the sheet. And really, this is putting everything so clearly into context that we'll make sure you do your homework, because most of you are at home. We'll help you along, like parents help their children. My parents never help me with my homework, but I hear it, whenever we go to people's homes, I see the parents are helping their children. Whose homework is it? Anyway, I'm here to help you, to help myself actually, to read this, because here, this is Srila Guru Maharaj. I think all of this is actually Srila Guru Maharaj this time. And Subhasini can put a little note in the chat if it's not quite the case. But here we are getting really this context. And I'm going to read it slowly, and you have it, the translators, you have this. So in this verse, the devotee's prayer to be considered a particle of dust at the lotus feet of the Lord, which was yesterday, just to aspire for that, like, consider most insignificant position, just to have that position. That was the prayer yesterday, the prayer of verse 5. But these verses are progressive. So the devotee's prayer of the previous verse has been granted, and he has acquired a position in Krishna's domain. Now his ambition has no end. So now the prayer is granted. Now that devotee's aspiration has no end. Although he is posted in a safe position, he is again praying for further promotion. First, the aspiration is only for an insignificant position as the dust under the soles of Krishna's divine feet. Then the grant came. He got that position given by the Lord. The grant came. The touch of Krishna's holy feet came to the dust. The touch of Krishna's holy feet came to the dust, and the dust was converted as if by a magic wand. Now a greater, higher demand automatically comes. The devotee thinks, now I find that my demand is for greater intimacy. First I aspired for servitude, but now by the touchstone of the Lord's lotus feet, that hope has been converted into spontaneous attraction, raga marga. Spontaneous attraction can only mean Krishna, not Narayan or Ramachandra. Krishna means one who is worshipped by divine love and affection. So next time somebody asks you, what does Krishna mean? Now you can answer, the one who is worshipped by divine love and affection. Krishna is the king of affection, the center of affection and love. The devotee's whole conception of devotion changed just by coming in touch with Krishna's lotus feet, and he was graced by the demand for more intimacy. Greater love and affection came to grace that servitor. He was raised to such a plane of dedication that his prayer has changed. He thinks, what is this? I can't check my tears. They are coming incessantly. And when I try to chant your name, my Lord, I feel that I am losing control. Some interference from another quarter is moving me, disturbing my normal thinking and aspirations. I feel I am in the midst of another plane. I am nowhere. I have lost control. I have become a doll in the hands of some other power. And still this mood is being expressed by Guru Maharaj. My aspiration is taking me towards something else. Now I not only want a connection with you as a servitor from a distance, but coming in touch with the magic, or with the magic wand, like a magic wand of your lotus feet, my aspiration has changed. I see that so many devotees are engaged in your service and chanting your name, and seeing this, my hope has been raised. My hopes have been raised, plural, not just one hope. I want to be lifted to that position. I can visualize that position from far away, but now my earnest prayer is that I may be raised to that level. Your connection has given me such thirst. I want to be handled by you. All of this is capital letters, by Krishna. All of this is addressing Krishna. I want to be handled by you. Play with me as you like, in your own way. My heart hankers after such a relationship with you. When I chant your name with this feeling, I find that my previous conception has changed, and my new hankering is for the standard of spontaneous love. I pray that you lift me into that plane of your divine affection for me. So today we read the whole of this because it's just the expression behind the expression that Mahaprabhu has given. And we have to hear the meaning of the verses from those who know the meaning. And we can ourselves read a translation, O Lord, when will tears flow from my eyes like waves, and my voice tremble in ecstasy? When will the hairs of my body stand on end as I call your name? But from that, just two lines here, then the devotees who know this expression, what is coming, then Guru Maharaj is giving us the whole mood that is taking place. So this way, we are hearing from Guru Maharaj. And for the translators, it's excerpt B, which is, I think, the last excerpt of all excerpts. We've got several excerpts today, but I still want to keep on reading, because this is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's accompanying Bengali composition to this verse. Srila Guru Maharaj has expressed, now Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is expressing. And we have wonderful kirtan leaders here, mridanga players, kartals, and wonderful, perfect followers of the kirtans. But we won't sing this just now, but it is this accompanying verse which we love to sing these verses. Aparada falli mama chitta bhela vajra samma tu aname na labhe vikara atasha hoya hari tava nama uccha kori boro duke daki bara bara. Very sadly, I am calling again and again. Boro duke daki bara bara. But now we'll just read the translations. So this is Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but translated, of course. O Lord Hari, as a result of my offenses incurred in previous lifetimes, my heart has become as hard as a thunderbolt and feels no change upon chanting your holy name. So this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. After this verse, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving us this. Disappointed, hopeless, and in great distress, I loudly call your name again and again. Dina doya moy karuna nidana. I promised I wouldn't give you the Bengali. See, we break our promises. Oh dear. Bhava bindu de raka parana, my life air. And some of you can follow more or less. Oh Lord, you are compassionate towards the fallen souls, and you are the origin of mercy. Please give me a drop of divine ecstasy and thereby save my life. Kabe tu nāma uccārane nayane jharaba dara lora. Then is aspiring. When will an incessant stream of tears flow from my eyes as I chant your name in divine ecstasy? Then a very nice Bengali word, gadagada. Gadagada. When will my voice all choke up? The gadgada-svara kante uppajaba. When will my voice be choked with divine emotion? And when will words garbled due to ecstasy come from my mouth? And then pulaka bhoriva sharira hamara sveda kampastamba hobe bara bara. And those who read Chaitanya Charitamrita definitely know sveda kampastamba hobe bara bara. When will the hairs of my body stand up in ecstasy? When will I become stunned with ecstasy, shiver and perspire out of the ecstasy of divine love? When will these symptoms of ecstasy overwhelm me again and again? Next, when will my body turn colors and become pale out of ecstasy? When will I lose consciousness? And when will my very life be under the shelter of your holy name? Bhaktivinoda, who is devoid of good intelligence, cries, when will I meet such a day? Hare Krishna. So this is the hearts of the devotees. Guru Maharaj showing that this aspect of the verse, this way of seeing that gem, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur showing this way of seeing the gem. And our safe position, our position, not only safe position, is knowing that that plane exists and to actually aspire for that with this healthy use of laulyam, hankering, not hankering for the things of this world, which is one of the things which will hamper, at least hamper our devotional service. But to laulyam, hanker for the spiritual goal, the spiritual ecstasy, and in the general religious principles, you can say, or religious idea, generally it's just for removing suffering. But in Mahaprabhu's religious gift, it is for gaining ecstasy forever, our home of ecstatic love. But with this verse, we always must give a warning, if you like. Warning sounds a bit harsh. But with this verse, we must also be very careful, because there is a temptation, and it happens in India. We don't want to say only India. Oh, what happened to my quote? Oh, yes. But it happens that sometimes this idea comes, and gurus, because there are so many gurus teaching all sorts of things. And earlier today we were saying about there are gurus who teach the worst things in the name of spirituality. So all kinds of gurus are there. And sometimes the gurus are like saying, you must imagine that you are in that plane. You must imagine these things, that you are in that highest plane, and the symptoms of crying and shaking, rolling on the ground, all these things which are described as great ecstasy, that you can adopt those symptoms. But this is imitationism, which is absolutely what Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Saraswati Thakur, they're absolutely against this. And I don't know if I added here, I think not, because it was a little bit long. Okay, I think I didn't add one of the quotes that I was reading earlier, but that section, there is a section which say, the gurus say to the students, yes, you chant the holy name, and you imagine, you choose somebody in the spiritual world, and imagine that you are them, basically. Pretend you are them. And this way, you start to try to think what they do every day, what they're thinking. You dress like them, so men dressing as gopis, like things like this. And so you pretend, basically, you pretend you're that. And then there's a section who pretend they're crying in ecstasy. So trying to show the symptoms and thinking that then you will become like those who have those symptoms is back to front, and absolutely what Guru Maharaj, Gurudev and our whole lineage is against, this imitation. And this is what the Sahajya Sampradaya are, that they have that conception with gurus, with students, that we can imitate what Mahaprabhu is describing here, these symptoms, and by imitation, then we will become that person. But don't be fooled. Oh, okay. I do have that quote, that section. It's so for the translators, it's the first section, the first excerpt. It's a bit long. I may not read every word. So Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, so we should take to kirtan, congregate, the chanting of the name of the Lord, congregational chanting of the name of the Lord, the holy name. We should take to kirtan prabhave, kirtan prabhave, smarana hoibe, se kale bhajana nirjana sambhava. So Guru Maharaj hasn't given an exact translation, but after saying that, he's saying, the Sahajya school, the imitationists, are more fond of smaran than kirtan. They hear about some activities in Goloka Vrindavan, and then they are thinking about those activities rather than sharing, talking. So the smaran, they're remembering some activities in that world, and then Guru Maharaj, well, I'll just read Guru Maharaj because he'll make it clearer. They are followers of smaran. This is their practice, rather than the followers of kirtan or shravan, then kirtan, shravan, smaran, kirtan. They are followers, Guru Maharaj, I got in quotes the way he said it, of smaran. They lead a secluded life, and mentally they go on identifying themselves, okay, yes, this is the part, with a particular Sakhi of their own age, her duty, her place of attendance in a particular place in Vrindavan, in a particular Leela, under the guidance of a particular Sakhi, and so on. And they are required to go on meditating on all these things by their so-called guru, as Guru Maharaj says. And that is the process amongst the Sahajya school. But we do not admit that. We consider it all false and imaginary. They are not fit for that plane. They do not have real sambandha gyan, knowledge of what is what. They go on with the habitual repetition of a particular mental speculation. But anatta nivritti, which now you all know, the clearing of offenses, the clearing of things that are not needed. Anatta means meaningless. We were hearing that the other day. But anatta nivritti, the purging of evils, or any other process based on it, cannot be affected thereby, by their imaginary repetition. Their imagined achievement is sheer concoction. They are not aware of the facts, the ontological, step by step gradation from Viraja to Brahmalok to Vaikuntha and Goloka. They are, this is an interesting Bengali expression, they are pukur churiwala. And pukur is a pond, maybe in other languages, in Indian languages too. Pukkur is a pond, churi is a thief, and well, a waller is like a chai waller or anything else. They're a pukkur, churi, waller. They are pond thieves, stealing ponds. And then Guru Maharaj helps us explain, helps us to understand. To think one can steal a pond is self-deception. Drive up in a truck in the middle of the night and steal the pond and drive away. And so we think that that kind of smaran we think that kind of smaran, remembrance of a particular part of that lila in such a way, to be something like self-deception. So we've heard this expression of Mahaprabhu, the ecstasy of Krishna prema, which is symptomized by these, the crying, the horripilation, all of these different symptoms. And so now Guru Maharaj is going to give an example, which is a very clear example for us all. So Guru Maharaj is saying directly, for example, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who is the initiating Guru of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj went on with smaran, with proper remembrance. But he was in that qualified position. This is the point. Who is qualified to do something and not qualified? And we are not qualified. We've got our feet in the world here. So Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj went on with smaran. But once there was another Babaji, dressed like a Babaji, looked like a Babaji, walked like a Babaji, talked like a Babaji. Once there was another Babaji who constructed a kutir nearby, kutir, a small hut. And he went on imitating Gaur Kishore Babaji. And he was doing madhukari, subsisting on alms, going begging. And he was sitting and meditating and wearing similar cloth. Then once Babaji remarked, so this is Gaur Kishore Das Babaji remarked about him, who was basically imitating him. And elsewhere, Srila Guru Maharaj said he was imitating him because he wanted that name and fame of being, a Babaji like this. So he's imitating. And then Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he remarked, if a lady enters into a maternity ward, she cannot produce a child only by imitating the sounds and symptoms of labor. That's clear. No? Not clear. Clear. If a lady enters into a maternity ward, she cannot produce a child only by imitating the sounds and symptoms of labor. Many things are necessary before that. Anyway, there we are. So, only by imitating the Paramahamsa Babaji, bhajan cannot be effected. One must have connection with Shuddha Sattva, the real plane. And then all the higher symptoms may appear. Otherwise, all those speculative antics will manifest. Hare Krishna. So, there are so many things we can say. But I would like to come to Srila Gurudev just saying about Matala Harijana Kirtana Range. So, from the loving search, this is Guru Maharaj. In Navadip, when you enter the temple through the main entrance in front of the deities, there is the front wall of the Nath Mandir. There's a beautiful diorama which manifests itself from a one-line shloka verse beneath it. That verse, Puja Laraga Pata Gaurava Bange Mattala, well, Sadhu Jana Vishaya-range. This is the original wording. And this is telling us that we are worshipping that higher plane, that plane of Radha and Krishna, and there the images of Govardhan hill being lifted by Krishna with Radha, the lady, cowherd ladies, the cowherd boys, the cowherd men also, all underneath the hill. So worshipping Radha and Krishna, but worshipping from here with our feet on the ground with puja of Harinam Sankirtan. And it's got so many figures. And Gurudev liked to say that, oh, this is this person, this is person, this is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and his associates. That was the original idea of that. The verse is there, and then the picture came, and the picture came step by step. So this is the very remembrance when we come in through the gates. So this is our activity. This is what is the preaching of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This is our safe position. Now, about those things which are necessary before a child is born, well, in this sense, before there is Krishna prema and the actual symptoms of ecstasy, then there is the verse which is in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Adau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangota Bhajana Kriya Tato Nata Nivritti Syat Tato Nishta Ruchis Tata Atta Shaktis Tato Bhavas Tata Prema Bhyudan Shati Sadhakanam Ayang Premnaha Pradurbhave Bhavet Kramaha. And please excuse me that I don't know it off by heart. Sanskrit is too tricky for me. Well, everything is tricky for me except what the language my mother taught me, I suppose. Anyway, translation. And so this is what the order, this is given by Rupa Goswami, of the step by step by step. And that is, in the beginning, there is faith. We need some faith. Then comes the association with devotees. Then one begins devotional practice, actual devotional practice in the association of devotees. So the faith is Shraddha, with a long A at the end and an H. Okay, Shraddha is faith, and association with devotees is Sadhu Sangha, and then devotional practice, Bhajana Kriya, and then this is followed by the disappearance, the evaporation, as we heard 2 or 3 days ago, or maybe yesterday, evaporation of the meaningless things, the anarthas, the unwanted things in our heart, and that is called anartha nivritti. You see, we've got a room full of knowledgeable students, which is very good. So this step by step by step. And then comes steadiness, not just steadiness while we're chanting our japa, but continual steadiness of our devotional activities, of our practicing life, of our remembrance of Krishna, from inside to outside. Again, substance. And so that steadiness is called nishtha, yes. And then that is followed by a genuine taste. We may get so many things along the way, but the taste we can rely on is when these stages have been achieved, that nishtha, 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, we're established nicely. With that nishtha comes a reliable taste, which is called ruchi. And then spiritual emotion, which we can say, you see, coming so far along, we are coming and hearing about the ecstatic symptoms of Krishna prema. And what is so the name for the spiritual emotion, before we even ask the question, the answer is flowing from the audience. The audience, not audience, Humble students, my goodness. They're humble students and I'm a monster. Everybody knows. Some people steal my phrase. But I think it is bhava. Yes, it's bhava. You know it. And then finally, love of God, pure love of God, which is called Krishna Prema. So, and then Rupa Goswami is saying, this is the gradual order in which love of God manifests in a practitioner. So, we are going through the Siksastakam. Everything is in these 8 verses of Mahaprabhu. And we've come step by step. And so now we are coming to these last 3 verses, 6, 7, and 8. And so we are coming naturally to high things. But we must deal with the high things with care and caution. This is the point. And so we've got Mahaprabhu's direction, we've got Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's aspiration, we've got Srila Guru Maharaj's explanation of how the prayer of the previous verse is answered, that I was granted that position as a speck of dust. Krishna's foot touched me and now my aspiration has been changed. These different ways of seeing this progressive life of devotional service, which was promised in the first verse, that step by step we are coming to that plane where there is not only joy and engagement in the Lord's Leela, in pastime, but it is ever increasing. Our payment, if you like, for engaging in service is not money, wealth, high planets, and all other things. It is more capacity for doing service, higher stage of taste, higher this, higher that. And in the infinite plane, infinity rules. And as our mathematicians earlier in today's class or discussion mentioned, infinite plus infinite equals infinite. And so the seers who actually know the truth, they always struggle with words to express more and more ecstasy, more this, more that, more taste. But we are on this path. This is the path. And we cannot skip anywhere. And elsewhere, Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, we cannot skip any path. We must make sure that we have our journey safely chalked out and that we practice it. And we were hearing Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj Gurudev, saying just a couple of days ago in the temple, he was saying in the temple room here over the loudspeaker, but he's directly telling us about we need this good launching pad to get started, and we need the good association, we need the good guidance, we need the good practices, we need our own self-determination, and we need to be humble, tolerant, we need our proper way of practicing devotional life. And if we do everything properly, then we have reasonable hope that our guardians will be happy and will give their grace to give us some nourishment in the form of the extra bhakti, extra this, extra that, give us strength to continue and make our lives successful. Today we made a mistake while making some plans and wrote down the year, instead of 2027, what was it? 20. What? 2070. Yeah. 2070. Oh no, we made a mistake. 2070. First of all, made the mistake. 2007, then corrected it. So as 2070, and then immediately comes, okay, we put here our itinerary for 2070. Then the thought comes, where will we be in 2070? Because we won't be here. Well, when's 2050? Oh, well, some of you may be here. But the majority of us may be, well, we may be certainly not here. Anyway, Prabhu, I shall leave that for you, for your meditation, for this one. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj also. The translators do have this. You can search for in a drama in your translation sheet. Guru Maharaj saying, in a drama, theater drama, also we may find that a man who is fully drunk, he's playing the part of a devotee, shedding tears and dancing madly as if he is a great devotee. And by practicing, we can acquire that mental condition of shedding tears. And one can show many feats as though he were a real devotee. But merely the display of some peculiar external characteristics does not prove the presence of pure devotion. Real devotion is sudurlabha, a very, very rare achievement. Okay, so time to stop in one sense, but to ask for questions and feedback, and we have our organizers of questions and feedback to my right. And in the meantime, while they're meditating on that, look at this flower. It is a prasadam flower. You are allowed to enjoy its appearance because it's already offered to Mahaprabhu. Is it called a kiwi? It's a kiwi flower.
The kiwi fruit vine.
Okay.
But it looks like a passion fruit.
Anyway, it's amazing. I just thought I'd show you that Krishna Gopal Prabhu, he was out somewhere today and he came back with this in his hand. He said, I'm going to offer this to Mahaprabhu. Look at this. And I thought it was artificial, actually, because of this unusual thing. Anyway, isn't Krishna amazing? The original artist, the origin of beauty, the origin of everything, as we've been hearing, and especially love, beauty, charm, consciousness, ecstasy, all these things. There is a question here. Oh no. Better be careful. If you go to an auction, you might lose millions by putting your hand up a little bit. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, we have a question.
A question.
Yes. We hear from
Repeatedly.
From Srila Gurudev that we need promotion from emotion to devotion.
Yes.
What does the aspiring practitioner of Krishna consciousness do with their impure emotion? And in addition to that, we have another question that's similar. How can I genuinely cultivate the longing for spiritual surrender without allowing the physical signs of devotion, like tears or choked voice, to become just another performative, ego-driven goal or a superficial expectation?
Gosh. Well, you actually, if we were to ask any of you to answer the question, and if you were to ask me, which they have asked me, we'll probably come up with the same answer as the foundation. And that is sincerity and good association, because the sincerity will always keep us checking ourselves and realizing that we haven't gone through all those stages. We are not ready to go to give birth in the maternity room. And all these stages, we have to go through of the faith, the association, etc. And we must always be conscious of our own circumstance. So self-analysis means sincerity, to see the wrong in ourselves and put them right. And good association means, as we have given before, those in the same channel as us, the same aspiration as us, who are senior to us with more experience, and who are our well-wishers and can help us. And if we can have some engagement in such a channel, then we will have automatic checks and balances. But it is not that devotees won't feel something, but Guru Maharaj says until at that stage of real nishta occurs, then we can't rely on what taste we get. Reliable taste will come when we've actually can be established in everything that's happened before. And that includes the anatta nivritti, getting rid of all these unwanted things. And when we look in our hearts, when we chant, and when so many things happen, we can quite easily self-analyze and see that we are not free of those things. And in this world, if really in Kali Yuga, except for like extraordinary personalities like Gurudev and Guru Maharaj, I think it would be very dangerous that if we were to ask and say, okay, who is free from all lust, greed, anger, envy, and all the material attachment? Anyone confidently put up their hand. I think that the illusory energy will be accepting the challenge, and things will happen. And again, we've seen such things in our life where we've seen devotees, you could say, almost boasting, saying, and really one devotee, and I'm seated there silent, thankfully, because it was sannyasi, he was a sannyasi, but he was saying how I can prove, and this is to some, us, the junior devotees, I can prove I'm liberated. And then this says this in the script, this script. And I just really thought, oh no, that's not that's a call for Maya, for the material world to come and accept the challenge that, oh, you think you're free from everything. And unfortunately, that sannyasi presently was clearly not free from all of the wrong things. So, we must be very honest in our self-analysis. And so any emotions, any feelings we have, we can generally safely say they're in the emotion department, but maybe helping us, indicating that there is the devotion sentiment waiting, something pure there. We have affection for things in this world, family affection, affection for children, everything. But there is a pure form of that, which is when Krishna is your child, when the relationship in relation to Krishna. So everything has got some gradation. So about emotion and devotion, then we must self-analyze and keep good association and checks and balances with our like-minded friends, if you like. And following the practices and stopping our tears from coming in our eyes. I don't have much trouble with that one, I must say. So difficult for me to, say what will happen. But, sometimes, we can feel teary or something like emotional. But we must know that emotion is of the world, and the devotional side, it has got another kind of fruit. I mean, people are emotional about their cats and their dogs. It's not a complaint, but definitely people can be very emotional about their cats and dogs. And so we can be, emotional about things, but it's a tricky one. But really we can say the same thing. We keep our feet on the ground, we're looking up, and if we know we're not pure, then we can't rely that, oh, I've got some softness in my heart has come and I'm feeling this. We can't rely that is the actual bhava of the upper world, or even reliable ruchi, which is taste, and then bhava. Hare Krishna.
So what is the real symptom of someone who is making progress in spiritual life?
Their humility and awareness of their insignificance in the relationship of the infinite path of Krishna consciousness. And sometimes really almost this is given to us by Gurudev, Guru Maharaj. And when somebody really is advancing, then the symptom will be their genuine humility. And examples are given, various examples, and one which is given is about Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj, who composed Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he was 90-something years old. I mean, he was aged, he couldn't sit properly, couldn't see properly, all these things. But his whole mood, if we read Chaitanya Charitamrita from the beginning and go through, and under the guidance of the devotees, Srila Prabhupada has given us those purports. We don't just go to the library and find a translation. And with devotees as much as possible, then we will see Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj's extreme expressions of humility. And by that humility, even saying that I am lower than a worm in stool. And if you ever go to a third world country where the toilet is just a hole in the ground and it all goes down there, you can look inside, there are lots of worms. So, this kind of extreme humility. And then Guru Maharaj says, this is not posing. He really feels like that.
So it means also that one who has become humble is not anymore, under the influence of lust, greed, anger, all this.
Yes. But again, you see, you're asking how we are advancing. So how much is that humility there? So pure humility, they will be free from those things, yes.
Lust, anger, greed.
Yes. Pure humility will be with the pure devotee, and the pure devotee has left all these things behind. Anata nivritti, we are saying, of which there is the gross and there is the less gross, and the finer, finest. Like an onion, think deep into the past when you saw somebody else peeling an onion. Layer after layer after layer after layer. So yes, generally it's the humility and not the promotion or the showing symptoms. And we know of incidents of Srila Prabhupada, of Srila Guru Maharaj, and of Srila Gurudev expressing without them wanting to, trying to repress devotional ecstatic symptoms. For we've heard from devotees of Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, how they, if some genuine devotional emotion arises, they try to suppress it. The opposite of like showing that I am this, showing I am that. And we have in here a quote also, because we kind of read things and we select some things. There is here, I can read something about a person on this theme who's making a show of ecstatic symptoms, and then to get some name and fame, that the public think, oh, he's a great soul, he's a great soul. And so Hare Krishna, that is Telugu as well as English is Hare Krishna. Yeah. See, I can speak a little Telugu. So Guru Maharaj here, this in excerpt number 4, for the translators at home, part of that excerpt, at the beginning part, our own experience should not be easily relied upon. Our own experience, such as thinking, this is God, this is my conception, I have a touch of God. And then Guru Maharaj saying, there was a Babaji who was thought by many to be a great devotee, because the public, they see something, oh, great devotee. And whenever this Babaji took the name, he shed incessant tears, liquid oozed from his nose, and he was seen to be in some abnormal meditating position. I don't know what it was, but this is how Guru Maharaj is describing. And on either side of him, his attendants would constantly cleanse his tears with napkins as he madly chanted the name. Some atheistic persons considered that he was displaying religious fanaticism, while common people who had some simple faith in God estimated him to be a very high-class devotee. But our Guru Maharaj, means Bhagavan Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, rejected him. So our Guru Maharaj, this is Srila Sri Rama speaking, rejected him and his antics, his strange behavior, as devoid of proper God conception. Hare Krishna. And then anyhow, we can keep on reading, but we're kind of made the point, I think, that everything must be genuine and humility must be genuine, chanting the name must be genuine, and actually we need to be engaged in Guru Seva. And what Seva has been given by Guru, given the chanting beads, chant this way, this Maha Mantra on the beads, learn the 10 offenses, avoid the 10 offenses, engage in some Seva this way. So we will do those things, and Chaitanya Saraswat Mat is where Guru Maharaj preserved what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave. They gave the practices, the practical daily practices for us all to go on our journey. And Srila Prabhupada sent his senior devotees and brought his promising devotees to Guru Maharaj to train them in the daily practices, the kirtans, this, that, and the other. And knowing that Guru Maharaj is Chaitanya Saraswat Mat, that is the standard of Srila Saraswati Thakur. And if we stay safely in this guidance, then we don't have to analyze too much except to understand that wonderful things are being shown to us. We're being given some hole in the ceiling where we can get a little idea, something wonderful is there. But for us to worship from a distance, this Matala Harijana Kirtana Range line, and then Pujala Ragapata Gaurava Bange, which is what Gurudev slightly adjusted it to with Guru Maharaj's consent. So sincerity, sadhu sangha, and always checks and balances, we can say.
We have another question.
We have a question from Naza from a couple of...
Yes, we could also ask that question. It's about...
So this is from Naza, and I expect you with us.
Yes.
When we often do Zoom, when we do Zoom, I know who's there. Today, I know you're there, but I can only feel your presence ethereally. No, I can't do that, but I know you're there. But Naza asked, if my true eternal nature is to be a selfless servant of the divine, what does it mean to surrender not just my actions, but my desire for spiritual independence and become completely dust at his feet? Well, Naza, so you've come...
That was actually a question from an anonymous local friend. Nazar had another question, but...
Oh, okay. Well, that was a question from another anonymous local. Well, let me answer this one first. Then, Nazar, we're still trying to come to your question. And that is, well, you've come straight to verse number 5, the verse before. So we need to follow the process. What we just mentioned, I think this is the answer. The practical thing is we will follow the process and our aspiration will change and our conception of our chanting, of what we think is our praying, our surrendering, everything will change as we follow the practice. Even, an example is in human life, we are starting as a baby And we're learning from day one. We're getting something from day one. And as a 1-year-old, then we're walking around. As a 2-year-old, we're having a bit of a conversation. As a 3-year-old, and bit by bit seeing the world differently. And then a 5-year-old going to their first school, then they're seeing the world in another way. A 10-year-old seeing the world in another way. 15-year-old, 20-year-old, 100 years old, whatever it may be. We are in this world evolving our consciousness and our capacity. And as we follow our spiritual life, we are also evolving our consciousness and capacity. And we will see things differently than we did 5 years ago. And if we think 5 years before that, 5 years before that. So this is maybe an answer, but what does it mean to surrender not just my actions, but my desire for spiritual independence? Your desire for spiritual independence. Well, we are learning how it is our independence which is causing our trouble. We want to be spiritually dependent and have a good master. And I was told a phrase, and it kind of makes a little bit of sense. The dogs, woof, woof, they're looking for a good master. They just want to have a master. And so we are a little like that. We just want to have a master. But also cats, I was told, they are looking for good servants. So anyway, I'm not going to make any, I have no more comment, but the idea of the ideal faithful dog just is always listening to his master. And we see people walking dogs and they're always checking in with their master, however the master may be. You know, they just want a good master. So we want to be the dog of a good master. We want to be like that. So we want to rely on, we want to take shelter of a capable person. And so this way, not even, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur also has a kirtan, a song composition in the songbook, where he's giving the qualities of a faithful dog, not relying on their own independence, but relying, whatever my master gives me for food, I take that. I'm not going to go running off into the garbage cans and look for anything by myself. Many things. So our spiritual independence, the more we are also told from Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, the more we surrender, then the more we are given independence, because we are doing the right thing. It's when we have any tendency to do the wrong thing that our independence is restricted, and then we are thinking, I want independence. But our independence is damaging when it's not in the proper shelter. So don't worry that you will lose your identity, your real identity, and all independence will come in due course of time. Keep reading every day all of Guru Maharaj's books, all of Gurudev's books, all of Chaitanya Charitamrita, like this. Every day, not all the books every day, but you will find these things in Guru Maharaj's books. We will get nourished, and we will find in one day, if we read from Gurudev, Guru Maharaj, and Srila Prabhupada, so often they are absolutely complementary to each other. So follow the process, and we will get really some result must come, some development must come, some understanding must come, and our hankering to be a surrendered soul, not I'll surrender, but I want my independence soul. And you will be surprised what is there. Naza, your question. This clock is a strange clock because it's connected to the satellite, but the hands are a little invisible from the side. So I'm not sure what time it is. 7:40, 7:40, okay. So the question from Naza, the long-awaited question from Naza is, a question about the idea that I am not better than others, about the idea that I am not better than others, so I should not instruct them on how to do things correctly. And then Naza's giving, very short example, very short thing. Let's say, or for instance, I believe that the Guru gives correct knowledge and helps me understand it correctly. How do I adjust this in relationships so I do not criticize others? After all, the Guru teaches correctly, and a good Guru teaches well. Therefore, if I believe that, if I believe that I cannot instruct others and that my knowledge is imperfect, it would mean that the Guru has taught me poorly. Acha, so I've got a good teacher, I've been given good instruction, but we are told that we should always feel that we are lower than everybody else. That everybody else, there's good qualities there, but there's only bad qualities in me. So this is a relative, it's almost like an overlap of two different ideas, because the feeling oneself lower than the lowest doesn't mean you cannot share high things with others which are coming in the right way, but not that I know this, I'm telling you this, but rather with the humility of carrying the message which we're meant to carry as instructed by the Lord to others, to share something good with others. People are hungry, you've got a pocket which is actually infinitely full, you can give chapati, another chapati forever. But this is more than a chapati. It is much more than a chapati. And the Lord also says, the more you give, the more you will find that you have got more in your account to give. So another example comes up. Guru Maharaj mentions, it's actually Guru Maharaj that mentioned that in his thinking about like guruship, being a guru, being a teacher of spiritual life, then Guru Maharaj gives the example about a doctor, that a doctor, he is a specialist in some department, but a doctor, every doctor will also admit they don't know everything. But what they do know, they can help others. It's not that they're going to think, I don't know everything, I don't know all about this part and why this, if this toenail is like that, what to do. But they know something. They know how to stop the headache, they know how to stop the bleeding, how to cure the infection, these things. And so according to their capacity, they will assist others who are in difficulty. And so everybody who's got a touch of the teachings of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, of Mahaprabhu, throughout the whole of his pastimes and Leela given by our masters of distributing mercy through the holy name, then whoever's got a touch of that has got something to give others who don't have a touch of that. But that doesn't mean that I'm better than you. This is not the case. And anything that we have that may be considered a good quality, it is extended to us by grace. And when some good standing devotees have slipped away, sometimes Srila Guru Maharaj would say that the grace of Guru has been withdrawn, maybe just for the time being. But when that grace from above is withdrawn, then we find our pocket is suddenly empty and that we are in a difficult position. So it is always a matter that whatever we have, we will consider it as grace. And in the third verse, Chinadapi Sunichina, we did read the commentary, I believe, of the accompanying verse by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, where he's saying, and one who does get some of these qualities of humility, tolerance, giving honor, not wanting honor for themselves, they should not become proud. This is also Bhaktivinoda Thakur, showing the dangers along the way. We must know it is a matter of grace. Grace can be given, grace can be withdrawn. That's coming from Guru Maharaj. So it's not that we are better than others, but we've got something that they've given us that we can share. This way we can see. Please help me to harmonize this. Do good for others. The best good is not giving chapatis, it's giving some glorification of the holy name of Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna.
We could ask one more question, but I'm also aware that we're running out of time, and if you wanted to end with kirtan.
Oh, well, I try to be the servant of the servant. You just tell me what to do.
Okay, we have one more question. It's about prayer, and we understand that we do not ask the Lord for anything, rather we want to offer ourselves. But how do we understand lolyam, or the prayer for devotion and connection? Sometimes we hear confusion around this point.
Well, now you know what not to pray for and what to pray for. The thing is, praying generally has some implication of still putting me at the center. I want something. And really, what we want to be is a good student of our Master. Dear Lord, please give me this strength and help me not to commit offenses. Help me to chant the name with sincerity. Help me to associate properly with the devotees. This kind of prayer will be helpful for us. A prayer for the prayer, something like this. And the hankering for that pure world, it is, at our stage, that it's like we're jumping over everything to make a prayer that, please give me a place right now, right beside you, so I can fan you with a fan, in exception to everybody else. It's like we've just entered into a new country. We've come into the new country and we find all the citizens, we find the local authorities, and there's a king of this magical country. And it's almost like we've entered a new country as a newcomer, and then we are going to demand, I want to be the person who fans the king. So that's a little bit I-centered. But to know that there are people who are there and intimately associated with the king in loving service, the king of love, we heard today, is Krishna. And so to know that that's a wonderful position and to aspire that one day maybe I can be taken there, this will be healthy. But to use that idea that I want that, I must have that, we must leave our own self idea, at least at the moment. You see, the pure prayer will become changed, as we've already heard today. The prayer will become changed, and the I of the pure me, I, not this I, the I, me, mine, in the pure sense, has its pure and proper prayer and aspiration. But we are here in this world, we are not pure. We haven't gone through the various stages. We know it. We're hopefully somewhere on the way. But we need to be realistic. And so our prayer is to be able to be a good student and follow everything nicely. And dear Lord, please give me the strength to continue. And if I'm feeling lackadaisical, lazy in my practices, please, little prayer, you can help me this way. And yes, we want to be in that place where we can fan the Lord, the King of love, this expression used today. Krishna is the King of love. We can't edit out any words, King of Love. Okay. So anyway, we will now end with a kirtan and wonderful session. We are so happy. We've got these 8 prayers. They're so important. And we're very happy to be with you all here in person and with you all here in person on the screen. Now they've turned the screen around so I can see you happily. Hare Krishna. And you see, Nazar is here. Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda, and Tapati. I communicated today with, okay, we'd better not include our correspondence in our gathering. We've got lots of correspondence here. All right, dear devotees, wonderful to see you all and all of our Brazilian and German, Italian, South African, and all other countries, French, and all other countries, devotees, honestly. I can't miss anybody out. Ireland, South India, Tamil, Tirunelveli devotees. And we've got Tirunelveli devotees, from Kerala, Telugu lady here. She can speak Telugu, Subhasini Devidasi. Okay. Okay, dear devotees, and super to see you all, be with you all. Oh, lots of hearts flowing up from different directions. I think we'd better chant Hare Krishna. And you can join in with us. And I think I meant to say before that the Jais, correct?
Yes. Director
of the program. All right, so really it is the Jais from beginning to end to Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, to Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rokhok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, to Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, to Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai, to Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, who we were hearing about today, giving us this example, Ki Jai, and to Srila Satchit Ananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who we're also hearing from today, Ki Jai, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai, the whole Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga Ki Jai, and the 6 Goswamis Ki Jai, to the Nāma-Acharya, the perfect example of practicing and preaching, Acharya, Nāma-Acharya, Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, and Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Sri Siksastakam Ki Jai, and the very related books, Golden Volcano of Divine Love Ki Jai, Sri Sri Prapanna Jivanamritam Ki Jai, Sri Sharanagati, and the Sri Laghu Chandrika Bhasya, the gentle moonlight commentary of Srila Gurudev contained here, Ki Jai, the path of surrender Ki Jai, Shri Kol Kartel Ki Jai, and all the singers Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.